We are having such a great time today on This Day with BJ Arnett, and I'm BJ. I'm so glad that you have the opportunity to be with me as I have this conversation with Dr. Bridget Tay. She is, among many things, she is an absolutely outstanding interior designer. And if you want your home staged for a particular event, or if you want a transformation like a facelift, she's the woman who can do it. This is the thing that's fun to me, is that you are able to talk to a couple or talk to a person and get into their head and understand what they really are saying or not saying, but really want in terms of how their home looks. Give us some of those practical 1, 2, 3 punches that we need to consider, because I am so not kidding. When I was a child, my mother once a month or something, I can't remember how often she would do it. She would have a cleaning lady come in from our church, and she was Auntie May, and Auntie May would come in, and she would clean that house from places that, and she was really training us children, but we had to clean up before Auntie May came. And when I talk to you about interior design, I think I need to clean up before you come. I think I need to get that couch that I know should not have been right there before you even come in there. What is it that we need to do on the base level before we even call you in to get it all absolutely right? But what do we need to do to just get the basics out of the way?
I think the first thing I've always asked customers, this is just over the phone before I ever see their establishment or their home, I always ask them, is there any particular rooms that you're looking to get done? Because some of them may say, well, I have one, then again, I have some in my basement. Tell me what is it, what rooms you're looking for, and then tell me why. Why do you want these rooms done? Some people say, I've been looking at this room for 10 years the same way, I want to change it. Right. Or someone say, well, I just moved into a new house and I just want to do a whole full makeover. Or just remodel. All of those types of questions I ask. I ask those before I even see the place itself. So then I go from there, then you ask for budget and things like that. But the first thing is just asking questions, just getting into their head to see what they need it for.
It seems like most of us suffer from one major issue. I'm going to put it out there: clutter.
Oh, yes.
Clutter, 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 clutter. If I could get rid of the clutter of just the mail that comes in, I would be a happy woman. I think I need to have a shredder that's right by the front door, and as I walk in the front door, I just shred and don't even go anywhere any further until I shred. But there's the clutter, but also is something that you said earlier about pieces that are too big or too small in our space. How do we avoid those issues of something too big and too small?
Well, it kind of goes back to, you ask what I will ask them to do. A lot of times before we even get started, this is after I've seen their house and everything like that, I'll say, hey, why don't you remove everything that you don't want me to use? Remove everything, meaning that throw it out. Some people have sales, estate sales. Some people donate it to the Goodwill and things like that, which is definitely good. So once that's cleared out, and we start thinking about proportion and scale, which was the second factor I talked about earlier. Proportion and scale, meaning that I see someone says, oh, I want to keep this large sectional. But me as a designer, as the professional, I have to tell them, no, this does not work.
It's overpowering your room.
Right, it's not in proportion of this room. However, you may have a basement. I saw your basement downstairs. Why don't we put it there?
Gotcha.
It's so many things that I can do to keep the things that you really love and things that work.
But not necessarily in the place that we always have.
Exactly. We can always move things if you have the space. If you don't have the space, it's going to be moved out the door. So, but if it works, it will work.
Don't hire a professional if you don't want them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think that's part of the issue too, is that a lot of times we say we want a professional to come in and do it, and then we don't let the professional be the professional. Stop it.
I can speak on that one. I have wonderful clients. I mean, every client that I've had has been absolutely wonderful. However, I do get clients that say, I want a designer to come in, but when I get in, it's like they want to do the work.
Yeah,
They won't let me do my job, but that's when I have to just sit back and just listen and just tell them, look, you hired me.
Yeah.
So if you want me to do it, let me do it. Give me the chance to do that. And if
Right.
there's anything that you don't like afterwards.
Then you can change some stuff.
Hey, I've been doing this for almost 16 years and I haven't had one person that didn't like it. So I thank God for that. That's a blessing.
And I think that's the beauty of it is being able to establish that relationship with the client that allows them to go, okay. Because I think just like if you when you style someone wardrobe-wise, you have to trust that person who's doing it.
Right.
And I may see 20 homes that you've done, and I still may think, well, I don't know if they can do that in my house. You've heard that before.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And just being able, and another thing that you talked about, just being able to know what your client likes. Like certain clients don't like the same thing.
Yes.
You have some that like the nice contemporary things, some like the modern, some like the traditional. And I get a lot of clients that want to keep the traditional but put a little bit of the modern or contemporary in there. And
That's
it's a mix, and you can do that.
I like the mix
that
and
works.
the match.
That
I don't
works.
want anything, I grew up hearing no matchy-matchy. I grew up hearing that. So I don't want things that match, but I want things that have classic appeal. And let's face it, we're in the South, and classic appeal sometimes isn't very comfortable for me as an African-American woman. I'm not sure if I want that kind of chair. But I look at some of the funny things that we tend to trend our homes so strongly. How do we stay away from trending our home versus making what we started off with, the house become the home?
Well, it comes from a lot of times what I see with, I'm just giving you an example with my clients. Some of my clients, it's a trend because they see something else, say on Pinterest,
Yes.
on Facebook, on Instagram.
That's the worst.
Oh, I love this. And they send me these pictures. This is what I want. But what I have to do as their professional is know them, know what they like. So I can bring that in.
Okay, is your degree in psychology? Is that what you're a doctor
That's a part of it. That's a part of it. Being a fashion designer and being an interior designer, you have to get into it. Because a lot of things that they see on that picture, you're going to find out they really don't want that. They want the color, they may want the style, but they don't exactly want that. Exactly.
But we'll fight you down about, no, it's that, it's that.
And then
And you sift through that conversation.
You sift through it, and then when it all comes together, and that's when we get to the third point, which is accessorizing.
Which I love.
When you accessorize, the accessories just bring it all together.
Yeah.
And it's all about harmony and also being congruent together. Cohesiveness.
Okay, so
all of it has to flow.
You're pulling out those contemporary words right out of the Bible. It's like,
that's a part of it.
That's
You're
the
right.
harmony of your home.
Right,
You've got to be able to have that in your home so that it is your sanctuary. It is a place that you can go and know that in this spot, this chair is for the sole purpose of me just relaxing and meditating.
Right, right. And like you said, talking about the Bible, when you think about people, just couples and just families, if you notice, and I'm sure this is somewhere, that people that have their house and disorganized, that's pretty much tranquil, that they're happy to be there, a lot of times their relationships are better.
Yeah.
And when you go into a house that has things everywhere and it's chaos, you can barely cook, you can barely find things.
You're bumping into each other.
Exactly.
And it doesn't work.
Right.
But also, I think in a conversation I was having earlier, when I look at that, if my home is not harmonious, if it's not reflecting the excellence that God has placed inside of me and my husband as well, then when my children come in, I'm putting that inside of them. Disorganization, a non-harmonious atmosphere. I'm putting all of these disjointed things into the atmosphere of the next generation. I don't want to do that.
And it keeps it going.
And it keeps it going.
And you don't want that. You're right. You don't want that.
So
it all plays a part.
It all plays a part. You mentioned earlier that color, line, and space all come together to make that home perfect. We only have just a few more minutes, but when we think about some of the modern homes that we're seeing now, we're seeing windows, and which I absolutely love. These windows almost from floor to ceiling. You're seeing but there's no window treatment. What's going on there?
Well, nowadays people don't want as much window. They want the sunlight to come in.
The practicality of Goober over there is looking through my window. So how do we get both? Is there a way to keep the beauty of the open sunlight window, yet have our privacy and maintain, you know, that good line of I don't want anybody to be able to, you know, see through my home?
Well, they still have what they have. They still have the shutter blinds. You have the real big modern ones where you can look straight through your windows.
Yeah.
You can get those. Also, you still can have window treatments. Most of the time, people don't close them. They really just for a look. You may have it on the side.
Yes.
But if you want to have, if you're that type of person that you need those treatments to where you can close them, you definitely can still do that.
And still stay with the design principle that you want your home in that harmonious feel, so that it's not sticking out. There's so many people who want the advice and the expertise of a Dr. Bridget Tay to come into their home and show them exactly what to do and how to do it. Do you put, you know, I watch a lot of HGTV, and I know that's the direction you are headed. I know it as I've seen you create. Do you put people out of their house so you can work?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I try to ask my clients, please, let it be a day you're not there.
And you see how she smiles, ladies and gentlemen. She smiles very nice and says, get out, get out, get out.
I do ask them to have a time to where they can go with their families. I work Monday through Sunday, any day. But it's just, I ask for them not to be there because of course, they're in the way and they're going to see me do things and say, oh, I don't like that. But then once it's done, oh, I love it.
Right.
So it's best for them not to be there.
Because when you see it in its parts, it's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
The beauty of it is when you've done it all and you kind of say, come on into your new living room. And it's such a joy because you've taken the time to put it here and go, not exactly. This is where it goes. There's so much to unearth when you take a look at interior design, its fashion in itself, and how it works harmoniously with the family that's living in that home or that single person. And what I appreciate about what you guys do is that you do look into the depths of the person. You do listen to them. That was so important, what you said earlier. You have to listen so that you are able to design something around not necessarily what we think we want, which can be wrong many times, but more of you're able to unearth what we really, really do want.
Exactly.
I know everybody wants it because this is something that is such a trending topic right now, is how to make a house a home. How can people get in touch with you, and what can we expect to see from you in the future in terms of design?
Okay. Well, you can get in touch with me at www.odigwe.com, and that's on just the website. Also on Facebook, and also Instagram. That's Odigwe Designs by Bridget, and that's on Facebook and Instagram. Both are the same ones.
Now, I'm going to be the one to say, Odigwe, please spell that out.
Okay, and I'm going to spell it for you. It's ODIGWE, and that's .com. It's just that simple. It's my maiden name. That used to be my now it's my middle name now, but that's my maiden name.
So we look forward to seeing all the things that you're going to be doing in the future, because there is a design expression in Atlanta that says, if you haven't seen it, it hasn't really happened until I put my hands
on it.
Yeah. So I just really appreciate your expertise in your field. We look forward to seeing all that you have to offer in this area. And give me that website one more time.
Okay, that's www.odigwe@gmail.com. And then you can also find me on Instagram, which is Odigwe Designs by Bridget.
I love it. Odigwe Designs by Bridget. And she's going to come in, listen to you, and figure out what you really want. Because God knows we need some help in design in our homes. Hope you have a fabulous day ahead. God bless.